Hello everyone, welcome to another lecture on the OSI model. So before going into the OSI model, what is an OSI model? Have you ever heard about the OSI model? We must have learned about OSI model when we have actually been doing our courses, our degrees, but in order for one computer to interact with another computer, we need something called a networking concept, which is called the OSI model. So let's see what OSI model is all about. So OSI model is nothing but a networking concept where it actually helps us to understand how two computers would actually interact or connect with one another. Okay, there are basically seven layers associated with it, and we would actually learn all the seven layers in a different way. So let's see, how do these two computers would interact with each other. The first thing would be they would be actually needing a, a network, okay, or they would be connecting over the internet. That is the first important thing. Now let's move on. Let's say I have got a message that is needs to be delivered on the Mother's Day because that's coming soon. So I have got a message for my mom and I want that message to be delivered from my IP address to my mom's IP address. Or I have a package, let's consider, wherein I want to deliver that package to my mom. How do we interact with each other? Let's understand it in a very simple way. Okay, now we've got two computers, and how these two computers would interact with each other. Let's understand the basic concept. Now, I've got a message where I'm saying that I love you, mom, and this is a very secret and a private message that I really want to send to my mom on this Mother's Day. So what I do is I encrypt that message, put it in an envelope. I say GOZM, which is a French way to say I love you, and my mom understands that I mean that I really love her a lot. So I encrypt that message firstly. So I put it in an envelope, I put it in a big box, and I then go to the shipping company now. Now, here in the shipping company, what the shipping company would do is they would actually stick a label saying this is from Anas and this is going to Anas's mom. And here, after that, they would actually say, hey, we've got a connection. Okay, we've got a parcel and we will be sending it today. Are you available? So a session is being established between the two parties. So the party would receive the package would say yes, we are available, send it as soon as possible. Okay, so session would be established here. So now what happens is after this, the company like the DHL or FedEx, they would actually say that your package is huge, and we want your package to be, broken down into smaller segments or smaller parts. So what I do is I take one word here, another word, and another word. So I break it down into smaller segments or smaller packets so that they could easily carry it and send it. So now after like breaking down into like jotting down into smaller parts, what I do is we actually add something called the apartment, which apartment where my mom is living, and additional information has been given. So after giving the apartment name, what I do is I go to the next section wherein we need additional information that is being added. Now we've got the apartment name, we've it broken down into like smaller pieces. Now what we do is we plan for the route. Which route would we go? Either going from Ontario to India via plane, either going via ship, or we have some other modes of transport where we can actually give the shortest and the safest route so that the package can be delivered. Then now, after moving that, we have added the apartment name, we have added the route, we have planned the route. Now what we do is we add the flat number. So here we have got the apartment, we have planned the route as well. Now we add the flat number of my mom so that the message can be delivered straight away. After all these things, we have got everything right now. Now what happens is we actually give it to the guy who would sit on his like vehicle and he would deliver the package now. This is how simple two things can eventually, interact. How a message is being transferred from one computer to another. Now, moving on to the technical concept, because we have actually done it in a way wherein we are actually sending a package. Now we would learn in a technical aspect of it. So now you've got a message where I say, I love you. That would be the application where it's got the application in it. And now what I do is I encrypt it. So the encryption, decryption happens in this layer, which is the presentation layer. The third section I told is a session is being established, right? So this is the session layer, wherein like two uh, parties would actually, a connection would be established here. But now moving on to the fourth, this is the most important aspect of it, which is called the transport layer. Now in the transport layer, the message is actually broken down into smaller segments. Okay, like G would be one segment, wow will be one segment, aim would be another segment. And in this segment, we also add the port numbers. So like we add 8080 if we want the message to be transferred to HTTP, HTTPS 80, or like other port numbers, SSH port. So we add the port number here. So we move on to the fourth. Now the next layer would be a network layer where we have, the uh, BG border gateway protocol BGP and the IP addresses, which are linked to the network area. So we always say like TCP over IP. So the network would be IP, and then the transport layer would be the TCP layer of it or the UDP layer of it. So now we have got the route, we have got application, the apartment number, everything here. So the network is being established now. Now moving on, the next is the data link layer. Now in the data link layer, we add you know, the entire thing. We put the proper labels and stuff. After that, what we do is here, this would actually divide it into like frames, and it data link layer can be considered to be a logical layer wherein it would actually ensure that out of these three packages, right, G goes first, wow goes second, and aim goes third. So it would actually send it in a chronological order, like first should go this, second should go this, and third should go this. And then comes the final physical layer of it. So in the physical layer, we have got like the connections. Okay, so we've got like after this, the physical layer would be responsible in transforming the data into the bits like 10011, whatever. So it would be doing it and transforming the data into the bits. So now the question arises is application layer, presentation, which one would be the first layer and which one would be the last layer? Okay, maybe the application is the first or the physical layer is the first, but it depends whether you are a sender or a receiver. So if you are a sender, okay, the application would be the first. So you take the application, you encrypt it, and then you add the segments and the port numbers. A session is being established, and then you add the ports, and the packets are being sent, and then the segments come in between, and then the physical layer comes in between. So that's how the OSI model works. So now moving on, the first three layer, if you have a look, is basically related to nothing but data. Okay, so here it is like the software layers. The fourth layer is the transport layer, which is the TCP and the UDP, but considered to be the heart of the OSI model, where entire planning takes place. And it's, the TCP is considered to be a reliable connection, UDP is considered to be a faster but an unreliable connection. Okay, so if it like connection breaks, then UDP would actually leave the data, but TCP would actually continue. If the connection breaks, like it would continue transferring the data again. Okay, so TCP is considered to be reliable and UDP protocol is considered to be unreliable. Moving on, the network data link physical, they are considered to be the hardware layers where we have got like breaking it into packets and frames and then converting it to, bits, which is 10011. And that's how these things eventually work. And so sender is the first, and then the receiver is the second. If we are the receiver, then the physical layer would be the first, and then the sender would be the application layer would be the last one. And thank you very much for watching the video, and I hope you like the video. And thank you very much. And I would be coming back with another lecture in a couple of days. Thank you.